Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Daryl here. It is earlier than I've ever done a video before. It's 2:45 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I've been up for a little while here. I was researching different stories about the Supreme Court, Donald Trump, how the Supreme Court just basically shut the door on Trump. But I came across something else I want to talk about this morning. I have two different stories that have happened in the last 7 days in America, here in America. All right. Two different stories involving officers and shootings. And I want to present them both to you right now to the best of my ability, as well as I can, with no prejudice either way. But I'm going to try to present both of them to you guys right now. All right. On December 2nd, 7 days ago a week ago from today, Ohio State Traffic Control Officer Mike Sigmund and his K9 Ben were conducting traffic control, and they pulled over a car, and there was a white man inside, Merrick Burr. There was a loaded 9mm semi-automatic on the seat next to him when they pulled this guy over, and then while they were talking to him, it was sitting on the seat. The officer started questioning him, where he was going and all that, and Merrick Burr was uncooperative, and the officer got nervous seeing with the gun sitting right there, and Merrick Burr stated, he claimed that I'll shoot you. You pull the gun on me unconstitutionally. I'll shoot you and your dog. Okay, this is what he said to Officer Mike Sigmund as he was trying to conduct a traffic stop. Now, this man, Merrick Burr, he's a white man, and he would not comply. It was a routine traffic stop. I don't know the specifics of that. I'm assuming it was a legal traffic stop, legally conducted for some reason. And there was a loaded 9mm Beretta on the seat. And the person was Merrick Burr, a white man, was completely uncooperative, and then just basically stated that I'll shoot you. You pull it, he said to the officer, you pull the gun on me. I'm assuming that the officer got nervous and probably pulled his weapon and wanted to secure Merrick Burr's weapon before he continued with this interrogation or a traffic stop. And Merrick Burr wanted no part of it, and said outright that I will shoot you and your dog. Okay? Then he took off. He just drove away. The officers pursued him, and they charged him with improperly handling a gun in a motor vehicle. Wow. So, this guy that was uncooperative, Merrick Burr, is fine. Just drove away, but he got charged. A little slap on the wrist. Okay. 2 days later, December 4th, this is in Northeast Columbus. Casey Goodson Jr., remember that name, 23-year-old black man. Now, authorities claim he was driving down the street waving a gun. Why a 23? And this guy, Casey Goodson Jr., has no criminal history whatsoever. His family says he was returning from the dentist, okay? And he did, I'll get to that in a second. No criminal record, and he was legally licensed to carry a gun. I can say that right now. It is not established if he had a gun in the car or not. All right, the authorities claimed he did. He was shot while entering his house carrying a Subway sandwich. He was shot in the back 2 or 3 times. Franklin County, Jason Meade, U.S. Marshals Task Force. They were looking for somebody else. Not Casey Goodson Jr. They were not looking for Casey Goodson Jr. Supposedly, they saw him drive by waving a gun around. Why a law-abiding Casey Goodson Jr. coming back from the dentist would be waving his gun around in front of U.S. Marshals? I don't know. Doesn't sound like something most black men would choose to do. But that's what they claim. All right. He was shot entering his house by one of these marshals. The marshals claim claimed he had been holding a weapon when he was shot. No. I'm sorry. I apologize. The officers do not say that he was holding a weapon when he was shot. Let me get that straight. I'm sorry. He was shot entering his house. His keys were in his hand. The Subway sandwich was in a pool of blood on the floor. He was shot in front of his grandmother and 2 toddlers. He was licensed to carry a weapon, and a weapon was recovered at the scene in the house. In the house. They do not say that he was holding any weapon. The Subway sandwich was recovered on the ground with him in a pool of blood. All right. 2 different stories here. Things we can pretty much establish. The white guy, totally uncooperative and actually threatened the life of a policeman and his dog. Drove away with the gun. Got a slap on the wrist. This black guy, let's just say for the sake of argument, what if he was waving a gun around? Why he would be coming back from his dentist waving a gun in front of U.S. Marshals with a Subway sandwich in one hand and a gun in the other hand? I don't know what they're claiming. Let's say he was doing that. He got to the house. He was entering the house. He was shot in his back. It doesn't say he was holding a weapon at that point or anything. He was entering his house with a Subway sandwich, and he was shot in the back. Supposedly, from what they're saying here, because they claim he was waving a gun before this, driving down the highway. They found him entering his house and shot him in the back 2 or 3 times and killed him in front of his grandmother and his 2 kids. 2 different stories here. Interesting. Yeah, this is look, this is why Black Lives Matter. This is why I take a knee. This just judge for yourself. All right, I'll be back later with another video.